So what's going on, guys? Welcome everybody back to a brand new video, and the gameplay you are currently watching is PUBG footage captured on the brand new PlayStation 5. So I got my PS5 a few days ago, and I've been playing a variety of games on it, and I figured why not try Battlegrounds on here, because the absolute hardware upgrade compared to the previous generation of consoles, I figured it would at least have somewhat of a performance on PUBG and see like if it makes it any more smooth or run well. The results that I got is not at all what I was expecting. Whether you've been interested in picking up PUBG on console or just genuinely curious to see how it runs on a next generation console, then sit back, relax, and enjoy the video, and we're going to go through some of this today. I'm going to review it, and I'm going to let you know if I think it's worth it or not. Now, before we get started into everything, I would like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Goat Guns. So, this is the 1911 dime from Goat Guns, and from the experience of using this particular weapon in real life, I gotta say the replica is pretty spot on. Like, there's not much they could even do to make this any more realistic. The quality of each individual component is absolutely outstanding, and another great thing is it's fairly easy to put together. Weight of the gun itself is also really nice. It doesn't feel like a plastic toy or anything. It feels like just you're holding a miniature version, or what is essentially that. So the 1911 dime honestly gets a huge thumbs up for me. This one is absolutely stellar. If you want to check out this particular gun for yourself or any other ones, I'm going to leave the link to Goat Guns down in the description. Thank you so much to them. But anyways, getting back to things here, playing PUBG for the first time on the PS5 was an experience that I never predicted, right? Like, again, I thought it was going to perform better than the PS4 and the Xbox One as it released on, and those were absolutely horrendous in the beginning days of when PUBG came out. It was buggy, it was a mess, and they've cleaned it up since, but I didn't expect this to run so well on PS5, and I don't know if watching the YouTube video does it a justice, but if you were actually like watching the display of me playing the game and basically seeing it from my perspective, this game runs unbelievably well. Like, I'm genuinely impressed with how good this ran. It's like pretty close to PC standards, right? Because the game has always ran best on there, but on console, its only like really thing holding it back was the fact that it just didn't have as much FPS as PC, and there was virtually nothing you could do about that. But on the PS5, it seemed to be like almost exactly the same. I feel like I was getting roughly like 120 frames or so basically the whole time playing PUBG on PS5, and to be honest, like just doing this on a console has shocked me. Like, I just had never expected this to be possible for this game. I was so used to the base versions of them being ran on the Xbox and the PS4, and if you wanted to run it extremely well, then obviously use a PC, but not everybody has that option. But with the next generation of consoles, it looks like those two experiences can be brought closer together. It's not identical, and they're not exactly perfect. I think another thing still holding console back is this game is very weird on controller. I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm not very good at this game on controller. Like, it's just not my native platform. I'm a PC player through and through. I think mouse and keyboard is just my preferred way to play on this, but like the controls are a little bit wonky. That's not a fault of the PS5 necessarily. That's just sort of how console is built for PUBG. It's really hard to make this game controller friendly, so I'm sure they've been doing the best they can, but the only problem is you can't really like customize your controls all that well, and I didn't fine-tune my sensitivity, and I haven't had enough time to, you know, really develop a muscle memory for this game on controller. I will say, using the PS5 controller on here, however, there did seem to be like a slight bit of input delay, and I don't know if that's just a console thing or specifically PS5. I'd have to go back and play PlayStation 4 to really compare. There did seem to be like at least, I don't know, a small fraction of a second of input delay between what you would input on your controller and then what would happen in your game. I can imagine it's got to be an absolute nightmare trying to get this game like compatible and still running on PS5. Even though technically it's like backwards compatible, there still is probably a set of issues that would, you know, make it more difficult to do so. But generally, like the performance again is like if that's what you were looking for, and that was the reason you didn't enjoy PUBG before on consoles because of bad performance and like being capped at 30 frames more or less, then the next generation experience, the PS5 and presumably the Xbox Series X as well, are unbelievably, they're great choices, right? This is actually a huge step in the right direction for PUBG. And again, if they could get like, I really think if they could get a new PUBG entity working this well on consoles for most people, I know not everybody has a Series X or a PS5 right now, but as those consoles start to become more available and more popular and more people get their hands on them, I can imagine if PUBG made a new game that had full crossplay, right? It was a brand new entity that ran this well on all consoles and PC, we could have like potentially a really, really nice, cohesive experience for a game. Play does currently exist still on PUBG, so PS5 can play with PS4, Xbox Series X can play with Xbox One, and even vice versa. You can play PS5 with Xbox One, so it's fully integrated there. The only thing they have not done yet is integrate with PC. Although we do know it is possible, I understand why they're hesitant to actually go and implement that. However, I have optimism that with these new consoles, specifically the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, that could actually be a possibility once they become more available to people. One thing I just thought of with the next generation of consoles is that because crossplay is fully integrated in PUBG right now, that PS5 users, or I guess just next generation users, are going to have a significant advantage over anybody who's still on the old generation. Because just the amount of FPS boost that you get is like literally tripled. It's kind of crazy. Again, as I was saying earlier, I'm really not that good at console on this game. I feel like I could get there if I practiced more on a controller and played PUBG console more, but I don't. Whenever I'm playing PUBG, it's going to be primarily on PC. But if you are a good PUBG console player and you have a next-gen console right now, most people probably on this game are still on the old generation. That is rapidly changing, and I would suspect that's going to change pretty dramatically around Christmas time. But at the time of me recording this video, if you're a good console player in this game, you are going to destroy lobbies. I think potentially this could make PUBG as an entity a lot more viable just as a console game. A lot of people don't play this on console because it's like, why would I play a game in 30 frames when I can go play Call of Duty that's literally been in 60 FPS since like 2011 or 2010, you know what I mean? And that's a fair point. However, if you have a next generation of console, it's not even the same experience anymore. Like if you've been turned off by PUBG's performance in the past, it's not at all the same. Now, I'm not 100% on their plans for the future for the console build, but I would imagine there's going to be like further optimizations and everything. It's going to be even better when most people get these next generations, and I don't know as well if they're going to be making a new PUBG entity. That's an entirely separate discussion for another video, but I'm just imagining right now like how sick a PUBG revival would be, or how enticing it would be for console players to pick up a new game of PUBG that actually runs extremely well on the build that they're playing on. Because I talked to the devs about the console build, and their problem is just like it's so hard to make a game like PUBG with, you know, how much you need to load into the map and how much stuff there is in the build of the game, that it's really hard to get this running well on basically like what they call an 8-year-old computer. Makes a lot of sense, right? It's not that PUBG can't run as a game on consoles. It's just that the consoles, specifically the Xbox One and the PS4, at the moment are just a little bit outdated for a game that's been developed or started development basically in 2016 and fully came out in 2017. Still wasn't super optimized well, even for PC, but you know, it eventually caught up. The point is, the consoles, the Xbox One and the PS4, are just a little bit behind the times for what PUBG should be and needs to be if it's going to be running well. And the PS5 and the Series X, I presume, have pretty much caught up to that. I'm extremely impressed overall about how this ran on PlayStation 5. So I figured I would share this with you guys, and you can let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Are you going to be getting a next-gen console to play PUBG on? And what do you think of the gameplay? Do you believe this is a significant upgrade? I'd love to know what you guys think down below. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like rating, subscribe if you are brand new to the channel, and also make sure to go follow me on Twitch. Links in the description below as well. But have a great rest of your day, everybody. Also, real quick, I do have a PUBG creator code that if you guys don't already use it, you can log into your PUBG account linked below and select my name for the Creator Appreciation Program. It goes a long way to help out the channel, and I'd appreciate that a lot. But anyways, guys, have a great rest of your day. I gotta go, and peace out.